Good morning, everybody. So, we are back in Massachusetts. Got done with doing a 34-hour reset. Ran up to Maine. Picked up a load. And now we're headed down to Tennessee. Getting ready to start up for the morning. We're starting a new week. Been spending a lot of time in Maine, Massachusetts, and New York this last couple of weeks. I hope that's not a precursor for how this winter's gonna go. So, I wanted to stop and talk a minute. I'm shutting down for the day. I'm over here in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, and I wanted to point something out that's a good thing, but also a dreadful shame. There's the Loves across the street in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. That's a new Loves. I think it might be 2 years old, if that. I think it was actually built last year. Across the street is this lot that I'm parked in. It doesn't show up on Google Maps. It doesn't show up on Apple Maps. It's not even in the GPS. All of this available parking. Each one of those discs you see is an available spot. It goes all the way back there. There's a row back there going up into the trees. Actually, that tree is the end of the lot over there. You got that whole row right there. All this spot here, over there, up against that fence. Whole bunch of parking in here. But look at all the guys that are creatively parked. You got a guy back there in the corner. You got these three lazy sons of bitches parked here. Loves is full of creative parking. And this lot is empty. It's a damn shame. This place is called Big Rig Parking. Now they charge $28 a day. And I understand, pay to park, it's a tough pill to swallow. TA, Petro, Flying J, Pilot. They charge $25 to $35 for 12 hours. But they don't take care of their lots. They don't pick up the trash. They don't repave the lot. They don't do any improvements. It's just a money grab. This place is $28 for 24 hours. So when you do the math, it actually turns out to be a better deal. And it is clearly better maintained. Now, whether it's going to stay like that, that's the question. It's under 24-hour surveillance. I'm a little confused with this place. They got a sign over here, so that's your exit there. The entrance is over here, and actually, there's a guy that's actually going to use it. Now, you saw how that gate just opened? There's a sign over there. It's got a QR code on it. I'm assuming so that you can pay for parking. But the gate opens before you get a chance to do anything. So I'm really not sure if they just haven't activated the pay to park or what the story is. But drivers, I hear it all the time. We got a parking shortage. We got a parking shortage. Can't ever find parking late at night. Lazy son of a bitch 1. Lazy son of a bitch 2. Lazy son of a bitch 3. They are parked in the road. Not on the shoulder. They are in the travel lane. Parked on the road against a curb. With all of this available parking. Shame on you. On every one of you. Shame. Now, I don't know if this place is associated with the Loves across the street, but they got a nice porta-john right there. I don't know anything about this place. Like I said, it doesn't show up on Google Maps or Apple Maps. I just happened across it. And I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth when I'm trying to park. Hell, there's another porta-john right there. I didn't even see that earlier. So, we got plenty of bathroom facilities. There's trash cans all around. There's plenty of parking here. So, to anyone who knows me, if you're an over-the-road driver and you're down here in Mount Juliet, Tennessee off I-840, there is available parking even late at night. Now, I could walk over there to the fence and I could give you company names and truck numbers to every one of those guys parked there along the fence. That guy parked there in the corner, and every one of them that's creatively parked over there in the Loves. But I'm not going to do that. They made their choices. I hope the Mount Juliet Police Department comes through and gives them tickets. They are illegally parked and obstructing a lane of traffic. They are creating a road hazard with available parking. I don't know what else to say other than it makes me mad to see how unprofessional drivers can be. I'll be the first to tell you that I haven't been driving as long as some guys out here. I've been doing it for about 9 years. And I've seen a lot of changes come into this industry. But the biggest thing I've seen is the professionalism of the industry go down. It is despicable how unprofessional some of these drivers have gotten. Now, some of that is the fact that they weren't trained right. But I listen to some of these old timers talking about how it's the new generation that's unprofessional. How it's the new generation that's the problem. How it's my generation of drivers that's the problem. It's not a generation thing, it's a choice thing. I keep forgetting the ladder's dead. I need to replace it. A lot of these drivers that are doing this creative parking, and I'm going to keep showing it. I'm going to keep talking about it. And I'm not being quiet about it either. because I don't care if any one of them hears me. Honestly, I hope they do. That gray truck, I'm willing to bet you, been out here 20 plus years. That looks like an owner operator. The guy pulling the Family Dollar trailer, probably with Total Transportation or U.S. Express. Probably a company driver. Might be a lease operator. The guy in the black truck, definitely an owner operator. Probably renting that trailer. The guy parked there in the back, probably an owner operator. Most of the guys who are creatively parked in the Loves, owner operators. And I'm willing to bet every one of them has 15 to 20 years in the industry. These are also the same ones that are loudest about the laziness of the new generation of driver. I don't like pay to park because 9 times out of 10, pay to park is just a ripoff. TA, Petro, Flying J, Pilot. Like I said, charging $25 to $35 a night for pay to park. Some Petros and some TAs, they'll just charge you to enter the parking lot. The Petro in Atlanta, the Petro in, well, let me clarify. The Petro in Atlanta, Georgia, the Petro in Ontario, California. You get 2 free hours. After that, it's $25 to exit unless you pump 60 gallons of fuel or spend, I believe, $30 in the store. You don't even have to park. If you spend more than 2 hours in the lot, doesn't matter why, they charge you. That's a ripoff. And the reason it's a ripoff is they don't maintain their lot. They don't clean up trash. I've had times where I've done a reset, 34-hour reset, at the Petro in Atlanta, Georgia, or the Petro in Ontario, California, and I've spent there the better part of 40 hours sitting in one of those lots and not once seen them come by to pick up trash from the trash cans. We're not even talking about the trash that's laying around in the grass. They just charge to charge. I got a problem with that. This, on the other hand, looks like it's going to be a well-maintained facility. It's got 24-hour security, video surveillance specifically. It's moderately well lit. And it's pay to park. I don't mind that. I mean, I really don't want to spend $30, but at the same time, drivers have kind of created their own problem with that because they leave trash everywhere. It's the whole reason Walmart won't let us in. So, be a professional. Don't be the guy that's parked in the road, being a safety hazard. If you have to pay to park, bite the bullet. Pay to park. You're in a safe, legal spot. You're in a secure spot. And with how quiet this lot is, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Good morning, everybody. So, I delivered a load yesterday that had what is known as a claim, and it's basically product that was either damaged or the customer didn't order it. Well, in this case, it was damaged. And the receiver decides to leave it on my truck. Well, oh, that's chilly. In this case, it was 4 cases of lemon blueberry rolls. Getting up here is a real joy. By the way, it's negative 15 in here. So anytime there's damaged cases, um, generally we just have to throw it out. We are not allowed to keep any product. There's nothing wrong with the food, but due to health safety rules and blah blah blah, we're not allowed to keep it.
So the only answer is I have to throw it away. It's 6 18-ounce packages of these lemon blueberry rolls. I hate throwing food away, but it's a fact of the industry. So the reason I wanted to bring it up, and by the way, the reason I just tossed them out here is not because I'm going to leave them there, but because the gap getting in and out creates a little bit of a safety hazard. It's asking me for me to fall on my ass if I'm not careful. So I mean, I'm 5'11", and the floor of the trailer is at head height. So I just tossed it down here to get it out of the trailer so I can take it over to the trash can. So the reason I bring it up is if you're ever walking through a rest area or a travel center, you go by the trash cans and you see cases of food just thrown away. It's not because we want to waste it. It's because FDA regulations require us to. Now, all of that said, as far as FDA regulations are concerned, we are to throw out claims. That does not mean that every driver does that. I know of a lot of drivers that will keep some for themselves. They'll donate to food banks, give it to friends and family. If you have that capacity, great. Not every product has that capacity. It also depends on the size of the claim. Because if we get a claim on, say, 700 pounds of butter, where are we going to put it? You know, we can't save it. I've had claims in the past on 1,800 pounds of chicken. Chicken doesn't do well when it's not refrigerated. Can't keep it. So if you're walking through a travel center and you see these packages sitting in a trash can, do not, I repeat, do not grab that food. You do not know how long it's been sitting there. I've mentioned in the past that I've seen travel centers go as long as 3 days not emptying the trash. Any food product that's refrigerated or frozen that's been sitting in the trash can for any unrefrigerated period is a food safety and health hazard. Just don't grab anything out of the trash cans. It's there for a reason. Leave it alone. If I had the option to save the food, I would. And I do when I have that option, to the best of my ability. Again, not every food is savable. In this case, it was a deep frozen product, -10 to be exact, that can't be just refrigerated, and I don't have a place to put it. I tried to reach out to some people to see if I could donate it to somebody or something, but I don't know anybody in the St. Louis, Missouri area. So I'm also limited by my network. So if you live in St. Louis, let me know. Don't tell the dog. We got a cat. Meanwhile, he's just sitting here pestering me. What's up, Hirsch? Are you going to play tug of war with the camera? Is that what this is? He's going to be a goof today. Now, one thing I want to point out, his tail is going nuts. A lesson to anybody who's afraid of pit bulls just because of their stigma. They are gentle dogs. He sounds vicious, but he's not. Now, at the same time, I'm going to say, don't base every dog on him. Take every dog as an individual case. That said, the way you saw me playing with him is something that he and I do. That's something that my wife can't do, my kids can't do. That's something that is strictly between him and I. So please don't try and replicate that if you ever meet Hershey. I got to do some paperwork and make the bed that he tore up. And we got to go over to Edwardsville, pick up a load from Unilever. Hopefully, it's not a repeat of the last time I picked up a load from Unilever. Because the last time I picked up a load there, I had the 4 reworks. Let's not. But we're going to be going to Ohio from there. And we'll take it as it comes.
Did he behave himself while I was gone? Hopefully he did.